Okay, to start a simple game of Flash, click on ActionScript 3 file. Create a new file. Once it's opened, go to the settings and change the background size to 600 by 500 pixels. Now, create a character. In this tutorial, I will only be making a small circle. It doesn't matter what you make. Okay, now click on it, make sure it's highlighted, and go to Modify and Create into Symbol. Change the name to player_MC. Click on Export for ActionScript, and then make sure the registration point is in the center. Now delete it and change your layer name to code. Now go to your Actions panel. I already have it open, but you can just right click on the frame and click Actions. And here's the code. I didn't want to waste time, so you could just copy this down and I'll explain it. So first you want to create a variable, and this variable will be called player, and then we're going to identify our exported movie clip, which is player_MC, and we'll create a new player_MC. Now we're going to create the rest of our variables. Variable left, which will be equal to false, variable up, false, variable right, false, variable down, false, and a variable for the speed. This is customizable. You could choose your speed. The up, left, right, and down are for when your keys are down. So now we're going to create a function named GameSetup, and to add the movie clip that we created, we're going to type add child, and then inside the parentheses, key player, or our variable for our character. And then to center it on the stage, we'll just type player.x equals stage.stagewidth divided by 2. And again, for the y, stage.x equals stage.stageheight divided by 2. And close the statement. Now we're going to add a couple event listeners for when our keyboard senses the key down and key up. So when the keyboard event and key down, when that happens, when a key is down, it doesn't matter which key, we're going to add a function identifier, which will be called keyD. And again, we're going to do it for a key event, so the keyboard's going to wait for when the key is up. And again, we're going to create an identifier, function identifier of key U for key up. Now we're also going to add an event enter frame, and we're just going to call that eFrame. So on this function keyD, we're going to have a variable of e equal to keyboard event, and just put void after it. Now in here, we're going to type if, and then e.keycode equals 37. That's the key code for the left key. And then we're going to say left equals true, and then to close the statement, copy that about 3 more times, and change the key code going up by 1 each time. and change the up to true in the second, right to true in the third, and down to true in the fourth. And the end of this section of the code, it should end up like this. In our next section, we're going to create the up when the keyboard senses the keys up, or not push down. So we're going to create again the E variable with, and then type keyboard event and then put void. Again, we're going to create about 4 if statements, basically the same as before, except now each variable is going to be turned into false. On our next statement is our enter frame statement. Just create a variable E, it doesn't matter what variable, and then after that it's going to be an event, then void. And now we're also going to create a couple if statements. If the left is true, then the player X is going to be going at a negative speed in that direction, X speed. Up is true, then player Y is going to be a negative speed in that direction. If right is true, then it's going to be at a negative speed and going down, or a positive speed going down, or across. And if down is true, then player Y will be, the character will be going down at the speed you've chosen. Close those statements, and then at the very bottom, you're going to choose the you're going to type in game script setup, which will add your character. Key Control Enter to test your movie. This is the final product, which you should come up with. Now, my frame setting is set to 30 frames per second. You can easily change that by going into your settings and changing it to whatever frames per second you wish, but 30 frames per second works pretty smoothly. So, thank you for listening to this tutorial.